With National Farm to School Month and National School Lunch Week, both coming in October, the United States Department of Agriculture joining communities all across the country, recognizing the benefits of healthy, locally grown food going into our school meals and celebrating the dedicated people who make that possible.
Yes, USDA Deputy Undersecretary in Food, Nutrition and Consumer Services, Cindy Long, is joining us this morning. Good morning to you, Ms. Long.
Good morning.
So tell us about this program. How is it important? How does it work?
Well, on an average day, 30 million kids across the country eat school, breakfast, or lunch. And the research tells us that it's one of the healthiest places kids get meals. And for a lot of those kids, it's the main source of nutrition each day. That's why National Farm to School Month and National School Lunch Week are such a great opportunity to lift up the terrific work that's happening here. And USDA is all in on supporting these programs in every way that we can.
Yeah, talk about how the USDA is supporting the programs, because I know a lot of our schools locally do this farm to school program. How are you guys helping?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've seen a huge amount of local interest in these programs for years, and USDA is all in on supporting school meals in every way possible, including supporting local foods and connections between local producers and schools. So we have provided over $170 million in direct support for schools, specifically for the purpose of buying local foods and getting it into the school programs. We have also provided hundreds of farm to school grants that go to schools and community organizations that support that linkage between farmers and schools, and also support food and agriculture education programming in schools. So, you know, again, we have seen the value of bringing together school meals and strengthening the local production economy, and we're doing everything we can here at USDA to support that.
Well, and Cindy, you probably see the overall picture across the country, so give us an idea of how do kids react to this? Because a lot of parents tell us, oh, my kids look at fruits and vegetables and turn up their nose. So what are you actually seeing? How is this program dealing with the kids?
Well, let me first start by saying that I've had the opportunity to travel across the country and look at these programs for years, and school meals are not the meals that some adults may remember from way back then. I have seen so many kids crowding around a salad bar, taking fruits and vegetables and being really excited to eat them. So how do we get there? Well, again, the farm to school and the food education programming is so important. You know, when kids learn about their food, about where it comes from, whether that's through school gardens and school greenhouses, whether it's from field trips to local farms, it's important that they know their food comes from somewhere other than the grocery store. Another really important part of this programming is getting kids involved in the food preparation process, whether that's having a school garden that they're involved in harvesting, whether it's involving them in cooking a local item, you know, whether that's for just a taste test in the classroom, or maybe even helping produce an item that's going to be served in their school meals. It's all about that connection and engagement with food, as opposed to just plopping food down in front of them on a plate. That's how kids learn that foods can be healthy and exciting and still taste great.
And what about the role parents can play? Because I know that we're talking about school situations with food, but how can they kind of emulate it at home?
Yeah, well, the first thing I always say to parents is take the opportunity to go to your kid's school and sit down and have a school lunch or a school breakfast and see for yourself what's happening, and try to take some of those lessons from back into the home. So, for example, you know, maybe change up your family's menu rotation by trying a food you don't usually have. Maybe something your kid's been exposed to at school, maybe even a local food they've been exposed to at school. Or, you know, stick with familiar foods, but change them up a little bit with a local herb or spice. And then finally, getting kids involved in the meal planning and production process is so important. Even the littlest kids can help by, you know, washing fruits or vegetables. And as kids get older, they can get more and more involved in making meals. So it's really all about learning that connection with food that helps them, you know, come naturally to understand that food can be healthy and wholesome and still taste terrific.
And if somebody's listening to us talk about this and wants to know more about the farm to table or education of kids in that light, where do they go to get more information?
Well, a great place to start is our website, which is fns.usda.gov/ school meals. You can find a lot of great information about school meals generally, as well as about the role of local foods and farm-to-school programs.
Cindy Long, we appreciate you joining us today. Great information.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.